Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your reading with me, Cindy. So, Scorpio, we're going to look at your current and future energies. I'm going to do that with an archetype deck. So I do like to call this reading the archetypal energy reading. And I'm going to go into also our little puppy dogs. So little puppy dogs are going to give us a little bit more information. Frustration. Isn't that funny? Okay, let me finish my spiel and then I'll say what I was already thinking. And it came out on that. The puppy dogs are going to give us more information about your energy right now. And then I'm going to use the tarot and I'm going to ask, like, presently, your current energy. What have you been working on? What have you been healing? And what is starting to blossom for you? And then in the future, what will you finish working on? What will be healed? And what will be ready to harvest? Oh, there's an extended too. So this is a general reading. It may or may not resonate with you. If it does, and you're drawn to it, there is an extended. The link is at the top of the description within this video. And in the extended, I look at the in-between energy. So I look at the energy that takes place from where you are into the future. And I ask things like personal challenges, distractions to be aware of, etc. And getting yourself to your future energy successfully. Now, Scorpio, yeah, I want to touch on this. So it's funny. I'm sitting here and I still keep my little card rack of cards, and I'll focus on the energy of the sign that I'm doing. And I sat down and I'm noticing, like, Sagittarius is poking out and Capricorn, and there was another sign too. I'm not sure which one. Was it Pisces or Libra? I'm thinking it's like all this energy is trying to like come in and around Scorpio. It was weird. And then it was just funny, like, to get this frustration card, because it felt like to me others were trying to domineer you. Or maybe you've had some sort of ideas or something and people are trying to jump in on it and own your project or your idea. I don't know. It was just a weird feeling. And then to see frustration, they're like, yeah, you know, these people are frustrating me a bit. Okay, so let's get started on this. Current and future energy for Scorps, Scorps minority with a dash of nights. Scorpio. Current energy, you are the king. So maybe it's all like the little minions behind you trying to invade your energy. You are the king. Enlightened, benevolent leadership, benefiting those in your charge. In the future, you have Avenger. Desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. Well, that's pretty good. It's like superhero energy. Yeah, he's got a mask and everything. He's like the Lone Ranger, the Lone Avenger. At the bottom, Trickster, transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. I feel like you're doing some sort of like, whatever you're doing it in a very scorpionic way. It kind of feels like investigating energies that not everyone is comfortable with, but you're finding leadership in this because no one else wants to take it on. Ah, that's what that energy felt like. The way all those cards were peeking out behind you. It's like, you go and do it, Scorpio, you go. But we're going to come too, and we're going to take some of the credit for whatever this is that you're doing. You're benefiting those in your charge. They're just hanging out over your shoulder. You go first. It's sort of like a horror movie. You heard... Or a suspense movie and you're alone in the house. Or you're not alone in the house. Maybe you're with a few friends. 2 other friends. You hear a noise upstairs. What was that? I'll tell you right now. Aries will leave the house. Aries will leave the house. No, we're going to be behind you. We go. No. Scorpio, you go. You're brave. You go. So they would be like behind you. And you go. That's what that feels like. And then you find justice upstairs. That was just the dog. All right. What do you have here? Relaxation. That's really funny. I was curious to see what comes out with your tarot cards, because you got the king right now. Like, you're a leader. It's relaxing doing this. It's no trouble at all. Or you would like to relax, or people around you are relaxing. In the future, you have confidence. These dogs are so cute. It's actually distracting, to be honest, how cute these are. They're really cute. You got determination. guilt, curiosity on the bottom. I got to pull out the tarot before I get into this. I can see the confidence over here real easy, but I'm not so sure about the relaxation. An enlightened, benevolent leader, benefiting those in your charge and relaxation. Like, it almost feels like you're taking a relax from that, maybe. So you're a leader, and you're chilling. And if you hear any bump upstairs, you don't go. Go, just leave. I would leave. Yeah. That's why I like having a dog, because if there's any noise in the night, the dog doesn't react, it's okay. That's actually so true. If you're alone and you gotta sleep and you can't, what's that sound? Let's get a dog. They're great. Let me get this all out and we're going to dig deeper into this, Scorpio. This became the underline. What have you been working on? A Three of Swords. What have you been healing? The Ace of Swords. So, right, the Three of Swords is like a conflict between the mind and the heart. The swords going through your emotions. So, you've been healing your thoughts on something. What is starting to blossom for you is the Queen of Swords. Ooh, you're seeing straight ahead now. You're starting to see straight ahead. I almost have to, this is the first time doing this reading where I actually feel like I need to pull cards out specifically on these. This is the first time doing the reading where they're not strongly linking in here for me yet. You're getting mysterious, Scorpio. You're doing that to me. All right, what will you finish working on in the future? The Ace of Pentacles. What will be healed for you is your Ace of Cups. Well, that's nice because you're working on we got a lot of new beginnings. What will be ready to harvest? The Page of Wands. It's like so innocent. Oh, look at the Knight of Cups is what ended up on, oh, injustice. See how that happens? Like moving forward with your heart. Charming, chivalrous, sweet, artistic. It kind of feels like with Justice, because of what's sitting here in these cards, like how I'm seeing them, that you've been dealing with some sort of a heartache. A big part of this heartache, for you, at least the first aspect that you've been able to kind of come to terms with and to heal it, is the mental aspect of that. Like your thoughts around something, perhaps your communication, things that have been said in the past, things that you've heard, how you understand all of this. And then, so that part kind of heals first. So you're healing that. You're becoming more clear about something. And then in the future, like what will be healed is the other aspect of this element, which is your emotions. Because this is two aspects of you here, your mind and your emotions, and it's the vagus nerve that connects the heart and the mind. And the heart communicates actually more to the mind than the mind communicates to the heart. So the heart has been in existence long before your mind in the fetal development. It was there before any other organ, and it was pumping, and it's got little neurons on it that it's got its own little like network of brain-like material on it. So your heart can communicate a lot to you. Kind of feels like maybe your heart has been communicating to your mind here, Scorpio. This is a very fluid reading, actually. I'm not focusing so much on the specifics where each one is, because this is fluid and I got to keep it that way, because I feel otherwise I could get pulled into some sort of scorpionic depths and I won't come out. So I'm feeling it's very fluid. The heart has been communicating to the mind a little more than the mind to the heart. So it's helping to clear out thoughts, is how I would describe that. It's helping to clear out your thought pattern. And then like moving forward, like what's getting ready to blossom here is the Queen of Swords. So firm but fair, very intellectual. You have got critical thinking here. That's what you've got going on right now. The mind is becoming clearer. And maybe the relaxation, okay, see, now this is going to tie in. Maybe the relaxation is pulling that in again, because the King energy, a benevolent leader, like, so you might have been leading people for a time, or maybe you've been dealing with some sort of stressful family situations or friend group problems or work problems, and you've had to be really focused on that. So you haven't been able to utilize your mind or to let it hear what the heart was trying to say to it. But this state of relaxation is coming out of that cycle, perhaps, of leadership and being able to be your own leader now. And the leadership that you want to take in that is coming to terms with what your heart and your mind feel about a situation or just how things are playing out around you. So in the future, right now, you have the Avenger, desire to balance the scales of justice. How funny is that? Because you have the Justice card sitting behind the Knight of Cups. The scales of justice. There you go. And it has to do with the heart, with emotions, like moving forward emotionally and having confidence. I see you being very confident in the future. Oh, you're so cute. You're so cute. Look at those eyes. Oh my God. I'm telling you, this deck is so distracting. So cute. Aw. But if I kind of feel like it would be natural for you to have confidence when you have your heart and your mind come into balance here. There's some sort of new beginning you've been working on, and it's something that's physical and it's tangible in your world. It's to receive. It's also a very receptive energy. So being receptive to receive, right? If you're closed off, like if you've been any sort of energy like the Four of Pentacles, like just hanging on to what I have, not letting anything outwardly come in here. I got to deal with my own stuff. You're not receptive. So if something wants to come in, your energy is kind of pushing it away. In the past, I feel like in the future, I mean, this is what you're going to finish working on. You're going to be open to things. Look at the hands. Look at all these hands. This is interesting. The only new beginning that you don't have here is the Ace of Wands. But you have the Page of Wands. So it's like you're taking that path to slowly get to that new beginning too. You're treading softly in terms of like your passion and your desire here. But you're really opening up in the future to your emotions, to receiving things, practical, to be open. You're opening up, Scorpio. I had to dig at it. Yeah, now I'm kind of seeing how this is going. I think you're moving out of a comfort zone too, with this trickster at the bottom, transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. I think Scorpio might be a little bit unpredictable in the future. Because there's a real balance here. Even behind, you know, these don't have to be like deep, passionate matters of the heart. They could have to do with, you know, how you feel about, it could be like something like this, like how you feel about your country. But then what your mind tells you about everything going on in your country. Because the whole world is like really upside down right now. So it could be something like that, like coming to terms with that and how that makes you feel to move forward, to open up. And maybe it's not so vast like that. Maybe it could be something a little bit smaller. For some of you, it could be something romantic. But I just see like a real nice balance here coming in for you. So let's look. What you've been working on is the Three of Swords. Right? Mental anguish, two seemingly irreconcilable differences. The King of Wands, the Nine of Cups, and the Three of Cups. So look at this, is about really passionately leading forward here. But it kind of feels like almost as if you're saying my emotional element is a little bit stronger than your passion, or at least you don't want to lead with that. That's the irreconcilable difference. Your passion and your feelings and your emotions. It's a little bit like you're not too sure about mixing those up right now. And that's kind of the irreconcilable difference here. Like really wanting to go after something that you truly want too. For some reason you can't. Because this is also like weighted down by restrictions with the Three of Swords. So there's something restricting you from really going after what you want. Like where you see happiness. So the Ace of Swords, this is what you've been healing. So your mind's coming to terms with something here. Judgment, wow. It's almost as if there's things that you have, if there's things that have been restrictive to you, it's just coming to terms with, you know what, it is that idea of, oh, what's the term? Rejection is protection. Like even if the universe is keeping you from something, and that there is going to be a new day here. Like you're being logical. You're being logical about stuff, not being pulled into the heavy emotions of what has been breaking your heart. You're being logical here. Like, you know what? There's always a brand new day. There's always new opportunities around the way. That's your revelation. I love that. That's what you've been healing. So what is starting to blossom for you is the Queen of Swords. There is talk about like the scales of justice too. The Two of Pentacles and the High Priestess. Well, this is a little bit too like the balance in your spiritual life. What is starting to come into blossom for you is the balance in your spiritual life, your intellectual life and your spiritual life. Joining these two. And being okay with unknown things. You know, I don't know how it's going to be tomorrow. I don't know if tomorrow's the day that I get these new opportunities, but I'm kind of seeing straight ahead right now, and that's what I can do, and that's what I'm going to do. So in the future, right, what will you finish working on? I feel like it's being receptive to receive things here. The Ace of Pentacles, the Strength card, and the Page of Cups. Little bits of receptive energy, like offers from people, friendship. Maybe having been guarded in the past because the heart was going through something difficult. It's almost like you have the passion and the drive, but not sure if the heart was really ready to move forward. But over here, I see you like opening up a little bit. A little bit. Anybody? You've developed this strength for that in the future. What will be healed is your Ace of Cups. So see, there you go. And there now you hold a big cup in your hand. The Ace of Cups. What will be healed? Temperance, the Fool, and the Four of Swords. Talk about healing. Wow. But healing in a good way. Healing in something that takes time and effort. A lot of time. And what is that saying, that time heals all wounds? And the Fool, this is like being kind of ready for a bright new day. Yeah, I want to say that's pretty healed. Clarifying it with Temperance and the Four of Swords. What will be ready to harvest is the Page of Wands. So this, it feels like saying, okay, you know, maybe I'm okay to bring in the more passionate side of myself here now. To communicate a little more passion. Oh, geez. You give Scorpio an inch, they're going to take a mile. Oh my gosh. So the first thing I saw was the Knight of Wands. So that's when I'm like, okay, so you get like a little inch there with the Page of Wands, and you go right into it. Then you have the Two of Swords and the Knight of Cups. Right? Like, what do I do? How do I go forward here? I feel like you play a little more cool. You tone it down a little bit in the future. And this can be communication. It's almost as if you're like, well, I need to come out like this. Should I do it with my emotions, or should I be really passionate and flirty? And deciding, you know what? I think I'm not going to put my heart out there, but I'm just going to be kind of friendly. Like, you know, subtle. Like a subtle friendliness. That's interesting. Right? Well, this is what you're trying to, like, bring in balance here. These are sort of like all the things that you're negotiating emotionally. And I almost feel like coming up with a decision in the future that, well, you know, I'm not going to do the Knight energy. I'm going to do the Page. The Page is a little bit receptive too. I think the Page can go either way. It can be receiving communication or offering communication. But it's pretty simple. It's pretty easy breezy. There's nothing, there's no, real, I guess there's no expectations, I feel like, with that kind of energy. So that's sort of nice too. There's an awful lot of desire to bring balance and not be stuffy about it. I like the little confidence card. I'm going to ask about the confidence for you. The Seven of Swords. Oh, not to want to run away. The Seven of Swords, or be too sneaky. Oh, look. Ah. Gosh, this is such an interesting energy. Interesting. The Seven of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. I'm going to call you out on something right here, right now, Scorpio. And as I've known a few Scorpios along the way. And I do want to say that Scorpio is a very giving energy. All the friends that I've ever had that are Scorpios are very, very giving. One thing that I find that they have difficulty with, and maybe it's just Scorps that I know, they're not so good at receiving. And that's what's coming up here. The confidence to I feel like, not Seven of Swords it, and actually be receptive. That's what you're going to finish working on, is to receive. Receive what the universe wants to give you. Receive anything that people may want to give to you. And even if these are like really nice gestures. Having the strength to receive. Having the strength to receive. That is so interesting. I wish I knew what the backstory was. I kind of feel like, okay, this is the thing too, because Scorpio is deep. Like when Scorpio decides to invest in something, to go into it, they really, really go into it. So like if it's a partnership with someone, whether that's business, romantic, friendship, anything, I've always felt like when Scorpio decides to go in, they're going in. Like if we need to get out of here, we're getting out of here together. It's like it's tight. So you kind of open yourself up to receive, like to have that kind of a connection with someone. You have to open yourself up and be willing to give and take. So I kind of feel like, without pulling out cards for a backstory, that at some point you made like some sort of major commitment, or you have made major commitments in the past and they didn't work out. They didn't work out to the level that you thought that this should have had commitment and depth in it. Do you want to receive things from other people after that? Maybe perhaps worried about, there's probably no depth here. I thought there was depth from this in the past. They didn't have the kind of depth that I have as Scorpio. And it's a really curious reading, because I feel like you occupy the whole thing. And it's sort of like you're not being told where this opening up to receptivity is going to take you. But it's just sort of making you aware of it, to be open to receive. Because it can be very draining to always be giving, always be doing, always be giving, always be doing. There's got to be people just like you out there that are good to receive things from. Being open to receive. Yeah. That's so interesting, Scorpio. Look at this. Look, oh my God. There's some good shit to receive. You just got to let yourself go. The Eight of Swords, the King of Pentacles, the Six of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles, the Tower. Like, no way. I don't believe you, Cindy, kind of feeling with the Tower at the end there. Because holding yourself back and not looking, or not allowing yourself to go towards where you could receive an awful lot. This is a really stable energy. And with the Six of Cups, it feels, you know, like it still connects to your soul and your heart. Okay, Scorpio, I'm going to go do your extended. I'm going to look at the in-between energy. Oh, that's going to be interesting, I think. Until next time, do be gentle with yourselves. Bye.